I think that you as a woman do not sit there and empower other women. It is embarrassing. Be quiet. I'm speaking. I'm speaking. No, I don't empower you because I think you're pathetic. How dare you say that I'm using my dad as an issue? Shut the up. Do not ever bring up my dad. What is going on? Guess what? I thought you were a dummy before my dad died. From the moment Lala Kent appeared on Vanderpump Rules, she was impossible to ignore. Loud, glamorous, and brutally outspoken, she didn't just join the show, she stormed into it. Her sharp tongue and confidence made her stand out instantly. She said what others wouldn't, and fans either loved or hated her for it. You're not better than me, Lala. You got that. You're not better than everyone just because you have a rich boyfriend. You're pathetic. Stop calling me pathetic. Pathetic. And the fact that you just took that to my man Billy, you're a low-down hoe. You were not excluded on purpose. That was so messed up of you to do. You put it on social media. But beneath the fearless attitude was something darker, an obsession with attention. Every fight, every insult, every dramatic tear seemed designed to make her the center of the scene. She didn't just want fame. She wanted control. To some, she was empowering. To others, she was manipulative and mean. The truth lies somewhere in between. You first started dating Randall, you had all these stipulations. Oh, this is not going to happen. Are you? No, hold up. What you're not going to do is talk about my fiancé right now. This man hasn't seen his children in 4 years. All right. How dare you compare my fiancé, who is a stand-up man, to him? You chose to sit there and play the victim on this. I didn't. I came to you. I'm not playing the victim here. I own what I've done. Yeah, but I'm working towards it. Oh my God. From the beginning, Lala's story was a mix of ambition and chaos. She preached empowerment, yet often used humiliation as her weapon. The same energy that made her famous would eventually become her downfall, because fame built on drama always comes with a cost. And for Lala Kent, that cost was her reputation. Before the luxury handbags and red carpets, Lala Kent was just a girl from Utah, Lauren Elise Birmingham. She grew up far from Hollywood with big dreams and a taste for something bigger than ordinary life. But once she got to Los Angeles, she learned that success there isn't about talent. It's about survival. Hollywood rewards the bold, not the kind. And Lala adapted fast. She reinvented herself, changing her name, her style, and her attitude. What started as a young woman chasing a dream quickly turned into a calculated climb for fame. By the time she joined Vanderpump Rules in Season 4, she already knew how to play the reality TV game, be loud, be dramatic, and never apologize. She flirted with mystery, hinting at secret relationships and luxury gifts. And it worked. People were talking about her. But behind the confidence was a pattern that would follow her career, doing whatever it takes to stay relevant. She wanted fame, and she got it. The problem was, she didn't care what it cost her reputation. Lala's Hollywood dream came true, but not because she inspired people, because she provoked them. And that's where the real story of her controversial life began. Lala didn't blend into Vanderpump Rules. She took it over. She was the girl who could charm you one moment and tear you apart the next. Her temper, her quick insults, her shameless self-promotion, all became part of her on-screen identity. Fights with other cast members became her signature. She mocked appearances, called people names, and stirred drama on purpose. Every argument gave her more screen time, and she knew it. She called it owning her truth, but most saw it as manipulation. Off camera, social media magnified her chaos. She posted rants, cryptic captions, and live streams that turned private feuds into public spectacles. Fans who once praised her honesty began calling her cruel. The more backlash she faced, the more aggressive she became. Lala evolved from cast member to brand, a walking headline who guaranteed conflict every season. Her boldness made her famous, but also made her one of the most polarizing personalities on Bravo. Lala's relationship with Randall Emmett, a Hollywood producer, started like a movie: private jets, red carpets, expensive gifts. She flaunted the romance online, calling him "my man" long before revealing his name. But behind the glitz was a web of secrets. When cheating rumors and lawsuits around Randall began surfacing, Lala's perfect image cracked. Suddenly, the woman who once bragged about her glamorous life was linked to a man accused of deceit and exploitation. Their breakup was explosive. Accusations of infidelity, manipulation, and emotional abuse filled tabloids. According to Page 6, Lala also at some point apparently liked an Instagram post about Randall cheating on her, although it appears that she has since unliked the post now that it was gaining attention. On top of this, News also printed a report confirming that Lala and Randall were over, with this source citing fighting during the pandemic as opposed to cheating as the reason for their breakup. This source also mentioned that right now Lala is focusing on her daughter Ocean. Lala tried to paint herself as a victim, but critics saw complicity. She ignored the warning signs because she enjoyed the perks. As Randall's career and reputation crumbled, Lala's credibility went down with it. Her romance became a cautionary tale, a woman who mistook luxury for love and fame for stability. It was her most public heartbreak and her most public humiliation. After the breakup, Lala doubled down on image control. She branded herself as an independent businesswoman, selling cosmetics, clothing, and empowerment under Give Them Lala. But behind the scenes, the business was a mess. Lawsuits over contracts, payments, and trademarks began surfacing. Former partners accused her of dishonesty and greed. The same brand meant to symbolize power turned into evidence of poor judgment. Fans started to see a pattern. Everything around Lala, from her relationships to her businesses, seemed built on appearances, not substance. She talked about boss energy, but legal filings told a different story, one of chaos and ego. Her obsession with luxury became her biggest liability. The woman who once boasted about independence now looked desperate to maintain the illusion of control. The reality behind the glam was simple. Her empire was cracking. The Raquel Leviss incident exposed another layer of Lala's recklessness. When a private FaceTime video involving Raquel became public knowledge, legal teams warned everyone to stay silent. But Lala couldn't resist the spotlight. Instead of handling it privately, she went live on Instagram, mocking the situation, cursing, and laughing about legal letters. Her reaction wasn't protective or mature. It was petty and cruel. Fans were horrified. What should have been treated seriously turned into yet another show for attention. Even her castmates distanced themselves, uncomfortable with her behavior. The incident painted her not as a fighter for justice, but as someone who thrives on chaos, even at another woman's expense. For many, it confirmed what they already suspected, that Lala's empathy ends where the camera begins. Just when things couldn't look worse, Faith Stowers, a former Vanderpump Rules cast member, filed a lawsuit against Bravo, the network, and several stars, including Lala Kent. The lawsuit accused the production of fostering racism, exploitation, and harassment. Faith alleged that she was manipulated into uncomfortable scenes and made the target of humiliating behavior. Lala's name appearing in those court papers only deepened her bad image. Even though she denied wrongdoing, the damage was done. Viewers connected the dots, the insults, the dismissiveness, the aggressive tone, and saw Lala as part of the problem. Her past behavior made it easy to believe she had crossed boundaries. The case tied Lala's brand of TV honesty to something darker, a culture of cruelty disguised as entertainment. And once again, she didn't handle it gracefully. She deflected blame instead of reflecting on her part in it. No one on Vanderpump Rules fights like Lala Kent, and that's not a compliment. From the very start, her temper has been her signature. She screamed at co-stars, thrown insults across dinner tables, and walked off sets more times than anyone can count. You know what? You can't say whatever you want. Learn your place, or else you're going to learn real quick when you look next to you, and I'm not there anymore, and you're going to be really upset. So know how to talk to somebody when they're your friend. I'm out. But when am I going to talk to you again? Her list of feuds is long. Skeena Shea, James Kennedy, Katie Maloney, Ariana Madix, Tom Sandoval. Practically the entire cast has clashed with her. Sometimes she starts the drama, other times she fuels it. Either way, she never lets it end peacefully. Even when she apologizes, it rarely sounds sincere, more like another performance for the camera. Your man is not Johnny Depp. People don't just say things like that. You're the only person that's not embarrassed. I do nothing but support other women. I'm telling you right now, girl, you're in deep water. This is what I'm talking about. Don't get up in my face. Oh my God. Her explosive moments have become part of Bravo's DNA, the crying, shouting, and "I'm done" walkouts that keep ratings high. But as the seasons went on, fans started to see through it. What once seemed entertaining now felt exhausting. Lala wasn't evolving. She was repeating herself, stuck in a cycle of anger and attention-seeking. I was not emotionally prepared to accept an apology. I was still. Those words were still being thrown at me. Do you realize how mean that was? I'm trying to finish. I'm trying to apologize. Okay, I would love that. Off-screen, her meltdowns continued on podcasts and social media, where she attacked anyone who questioned her. Producers may have loved the drama, but audiences began to wonder if Lala knew how to separate real life from reality TV. At some point, the constant chaos stopped looking like confidence and started looking like desperation. Lala Kent wasn't just part of the drama. She was the drama, a person who couldn't survive without a fight. Lala's social media presence became her greatest downfall. Instagram, once a tool for branding, turned into a public diary of rage. She clapped back at strangers, mocked exes, and turned every disagreement into a public brawl. The problem wasn't just what she said, it was how often she said it. Every emotional outburst, every drunken rant, every teary selfie turned followers away. Fans who once saw her as real began calling her unhinged. Even when she tried to defend herself, her tone came off as defensive and cruel. The phrase, "give them Lala," became less about empowerment and more about attitude. What she saw as honesty, the internet saw as toxicity. The endless rants didn't make her relatable. They made her unstable. Her social media didn't just expose her emotions, it exposed her unraveling image. Fame became Lala Kent's lifeline and her trap. Everything she did revolved around being seen: the designer clothes, the private jets, the high-end skincare routines. But after the Randall breakup and multiple lawsuits, the illusion of perfection collapsed. Without luxury to flaunt, she had only drama left. Her posts shifted from glamour to self-pity, and fans began to tune out. The brand deals slowed, and even her once loyal followers started questioning her authenticity. The more she tried to stay relevant, the more desperate she looked. Every new project seemed overshadowed by another public scandal. Fame had once felt like power. Now it was a burden she couldn't drop. Lala became a prisoner of her own image, addicted to attention, unable to stop performing. And in that endless chase for validation, she lost the very thing that once made her likable: her humanity. By this stage, Lala Kent's reputation was hanging by a thread. She wasn't the fun, fiery girl viewers rooted for. She was the one they rolled their eyes at. Producers still gave her camera time, but her presence no longer felt exciting, it felt exhausting. Every scene seemed to circle back to bitterness or revenge. The more she tried to prove her strength, the more people saw insecurity. Media outlets began labeling her difficult and toxic. Podcast hosts joked about her needing drama like oxygen. And as her circle of allies grew smaller, Lala's defensiveness grew louder. Her friendships within the Vanderpump Rules cast fractured one by one until she seemed like an island of tension, surrounded by former friends who had simply moved on. Even her fans started to pull away. Many admitted they couldn't recognize the woman they once admired. The image of a young woman overcoming Hollywood's cruelty had turned into a cautionary tale about ego and anger. The loneliness behind her confidence became visible. She might have had the followers, but she didn't have peace. Fame gave her attention, but it took away connection. The story of Lala Kent is not just about scandals. It's about what happens when fame becomes your entire identity. From her fiery debut to her messy relationships, lawsuits, and endless online wars, every chapter has been louder than the last. Reality TV made her a star, but it also magnified her flaws. Each fight, each insult, each emotional outburst became part of a cycle she couldn't escape. The same behavior that once earned applause began to earn eye rolls. At her core, Lala wanted to be seen as strong, a survivor, a boss, a woman who took no nonsense. But over time, that strength twisted into aggression and her confidence into defensiveness. The more she tried to control her image, the more it crumbled. Lala Kent's dark side isn't a single scandal or mistake. It's the pattern of chaos she created and couldn't let go of. Fame rewarded her fury, and in return she sacrificed her authenticity, her relationships, and perhaps her own peace of mind. In the end, the controversial life of Lala Kent isn't a story of triumph. It's a warning. Reality TV gives its stars everything: money, exposure, power, but it also takes what matters most: humility, self-control, and truth. Lala once said she wanted to give them Lala. She did unapologetically, endlessly, and at a price only she now fully understands.